정말 고마워.
고마워. 안녕. 백이진.
안녕. 나이도.
Sometimes you just know a drama is going to hurt you. But you press play anyway, and before you know it, you're way too attached to let go. K-dramas have always done emotion differently. There's a depth to the way these stories are written, the slow burn, the weight of what goes unsaid, the way a single scene can crack something open in your chest that you didn't even know needed opening. But not every day leaves room to feel things properly. Sometimes, things just pile up and you don't even notice until they do. And sometimes the easiest way to back yourself is letting a drama do the work. Choosing something you know is going to make you cry and just let it. So here are 5 dramas to watch when you need exactly that. When you need to feel it all and cry it out. Before we get into it, here are my usual spoiler warning, even though I try to keep details as light as possible, and the name advisory. Korean is not my first language, and I'll try not to butcher the names of my faves too much. And the last disclaimer, I only recommend and review dramas I actually watched myself, so this is based on my personal opinion. I know there are many more devastating dramas out there that I haven't had the chance to watch yet. Or maybe I have been putting them off because I am not ready for yet another heartbreak. And yet I am recommending exactly those kind of dramas to you in this video. Anyway, if you're expecting to see Mr. Plankton or Move to Heaven on this list, I'm sorry to disappoint. I will be watching these soon, I promise.
근데 왜 탔어?
너랑 같이 쓰려고. 여보라! 좋아한다!
Number 5, 20th Century Girl. This one landed on Netflix in 2022 as a standalone film. Short enough to watch in a single evening, which, given what it does to you, is probably for the best. Set in 1999, the story follows Pora, a 17-year-old who is asked to spy on her best friend's crush because the latter leaves Korea for heart surgery abroad. Her best friend is her whole world, so of course she says yes. Simple enough. Except Pora ends up falling for the wrong boy, and from there, everything gets a lot more complicated. What starts as something light and almost dizzyingly sweet, first love, late 90s nostalgia, the kind of butterflies that feel almost too big for your chest and everything is just perfect, takes an unexpected turn. You just know a climax is bound to happen, things have to move for the plot of it all, and when they do, you still have no idea how hard that ending will truly hit you. I've watched this I think 4 or 5 times now, and every single time, without fail, it gets me. The warmth of it, the innocence of it, it makes what comes later hit so much harder than you're ever quite prepared for. It's cute and fluffy and exactly what you need, and then it isn't.
뛰어다니느라고 슬리퍼 신으면 화내니까.
Number 4, 2521. This one aired on TVN in early 2022 and is available on Netflix. 16 episodes, and I mean this sincerely, that will rearrange something inside of you. The story is also set in the late 90s and early 2000s, during South Korea's financial crisis. Nahidu is a young fencer whose school team gets cut down due to budget constraints. And Baekhyun is a college dropout, rebuilding his life after his family loses everything. They meet by chance, push each other forward, and somewhere along the line, they fall in love. But 2521 is less a love story and more a story about youth itself. About that specific window of time that feels endless when you're in it, and heartbreakingly short once it's gone. The friendships, the rivalries, the dreams, the versions of yourself you outgrow. The moments you don't realize are defining you until long after they passed. That's why the ensemble around the 2 leads also needs to be mentioned. The friendships in this show are just as central as the romance, maybe even more so. And some of the most emotional moments in the entire series have nothing to do with the love story at all. I watched this one right after Hometown Cha-Cha-Cha, which had already put me through it emotionally towards the end, and genuinely I thought I was safe. Different tone, different story. I'd already cried my fair share. I was fine. I was not fine. I bawled my eyes out for what felt like 3 episodes straight. And honestly, I don't regret a single minute of it. Full devastation, and I would do it again. Number 3, The Eighth Sense. This one is a 2023 Korean BL drama. And if that's new territory for you, let this be your introduction. Because it is one of the best character-driven stories I have come across in a long time, regardless of genre. Ji-yoon is a university freshman who has just moved to Seoul from a small town, still finding his footing in a city that doesn't quite feel like his yet. And Chaewon is a senior returning from military service, confident on the surface, complicated underneath. They end up as members of the same campus surfing club, and what follows is slow, layered, and quietly devastating in the best possible way. What sets this apart is that it never lets the romance overshadow the people having it. Both characters carry things with them, and the drama goes to real places with that. Depression and mental health, asking for help, the way some people learn to disappear inside themselves, it handles all of it with a care that is genuinely rare. The Eighth Sense pulls you in slowly, lets you fall for these characters hard, and once you do, it starts to crush you. I needed a whole day to recover from that mid-season finale. Full devastation once more, and absolutely worth every second of it.
작가님.
Number 2, Tomorrow. Tomorrow aired in 2022 with 16 episodes, built around one of the most quietly radical premises a K-drama has attempted thus far. The story follows a special team of Grim Reapers, not the kind that guide the dead, but the kind that intervene before it gets that far. Their job is to find people who have lost the will to go on, understand what brought them there, and pull them back. A young man named Choi Dong-un ends up joining this team after an accident leaves him caught somewhere between the living and the dead. Every other episode brings a new case, a new person, a new story about the kind of pain that doesn't always show on the surface. And the show doesn't look away from any of it. Poverty, grief, cyberbullying, the weight of guilt carried for decades. It holds up a mirror to the parts of modern society that people would rather not examine too closely. And it does it with both unflinching honesty and genuine warmth. One episode in particular left a mark. It tells the story of the comfort women, Korean women forced into sexual slavery during World War II, and it does so with a directness but tenderness that Korean mainstream drama rarely manages. The kind of storytelling that reminds you why this medium can be so powerful when it commits to something fully. And I was not ready for it. The characters are wonderful, the production is beautiful, and the whole thing is held together by a rare kind of compassion that makes even the hardest moments feel worth sitting with.
모두가 조금씩 너를 잊어가는 거라면 난 조금씩 너를 기억해내 볼게.
Number 1, Even If This Love Disappears Tonight. This 2025 Korean film is available on Netflix. And just like number 5 on this list, it is short enough to watch in a single evening, which, given what it does to you, feels both perfect and cruel in equal measure. The story follows 2 high school students. So-yoon wakes every morning with no memory of the day before, her mind resetting overnight due to anterograde amnesia caused by a traffic accident. And Chaewon, who is a quiet, warm-hearted boy who has already known loss and understands better than most what it means to love someone fully, without guarantee. When they meet, he makes a decision to show up for her, every single day, knowing she won't remember, knowing the version of him she falls for today will be a stranger to her tomorrow. But he does so anyway, because there are simply no rules in the game of love. The two fall for each other, and everything just seems perfect. Until we can cue our long-awaited gut punch. I was giving the tissue warning before watching this one, and I appreciate it, I really did. It still hit me like a truck. Some things never quite fall into place the way they should, and this film doesn't look away from that. It sits with it, and somehow in doing so, it becomes something hauntingly beautiful. So yeah, sometimes the most healing thing you can do is simply let yourself feel something. Not fix it, not distract yourself from it. These stories don't offer easy answers. They don't wrap things up neatly or promise that everything will be okay in the end. And maybe that's why they hit so hard. They stay in the uncomfortable moments. They linger in silence, in the things left unsaid, in the endings that don't quite feel like endings. But there's a strange kind of comfort in that. Knowing that the things that hurt, the love that doesn't last, and the people you lose along the way, none of it is meaningless. Even the pain has weight. Even the heartbreak leaves something behind. And maybe that's why we keep coming back to stories like these. Not because they're easy to watch, but because they remind us that feeling deeply, no matter how much it hurts, is still a beautiful thing. So if you find yourself reaching for one of these on a long, quiet evening, I hope it gives you whatever it is that you need. A release, a distraction, or maybe just the feeling of not being alone in it. And also, I hope you have tissues. You're going to need them.